I had to cut the top of that off a little bit.
Okay.
it's a
So
little-
best movie. Let's talk about this. Hail
Caesar
Caesar.
ain't it.
No.
I can tell you that.
Deadpool's
Wait,
good.
should we go from bottom up?
Yeah, let's do bottom up.
Okay.
Let's see if there's anything.
Moana, I didn't see Moana.
Okay, you didn't see Moana, but it's a good animated series. But it's mostly an honorable mention.
I mean, there are 2 on this list that I didn't see: Moana and Fantastic Beasts.
3. You also didn't see Star Trek.
Oh, right. I was out of town that week.
Neither of those are going to make our top 10, I bet.
Okay.
So,
Really, Fantastic
I think
Beasts, huh?
I'm gonna take Star Wars and Moana, throw it up at the top.
Whoa.
Because it's Star Wars. Rogue One is going to. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not for me, man.
Okay.
Not for me.
All right. So Fantastic Beasts, I didn't like. I thought it was a meh kind of story, but I felt like I was alone on that opinion. But fuck, I'm just as much a Harry Potter fan as anybody. The Arrival.
maybe
The
not
Arrival was awesome. The Arrival definitely goes to the top. Yeah.
that goes to the top. Sure.
Okay. So
I definitely like The Arrival more than Rogue One this year.
Okay. If you're
But
curious,
it's
we've
just
got
me.
21. We had 21 first round bald movies that we're sorting. Doctor Strange at 20 should go higher. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw it under Arrival because it's going to not be better than Arrival.
Okay.
At number 20,
Magnificent
Magnificent
Seven.
Seven. I'm content to let it cool its heels there.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't deserve that, but Snowden and Sully. Let's
That goes
consider
up.
them as another block.
Those could be top 10 contenders.
All right, I'm gonna slot them right under above Star Wars because you're gonna piss all over that one. I can tell.
I'm not gonna piss on it. I will
Suicide Squad
say my opinion. Suicide Squad was not good.
wasn't great.
No.
Jason Bourne also
Jason Bourne just kind of meh.
okay. Star Trek Beyond, not a good Star Trek. Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters a great Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, in possibly controversial opinion, don't give a shit. It's gonna.
I
under.
thought that movie was a ton of fun.
Okay. Independence Day Resurgence. Think it can just be there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Conjuring 2. It's better than 15, right?
Yeah,
Is it
it's better than
okay.
Hail Caesar. I can tell you that right
better
now.
than Hail Caesar. Not as good as Ghostbusters.
That'll be our benchmark. Hail Caesar.
Oh, is that the below replacement
Yeah.
value? Okay. So then we're looking at X-Men
X-Men.
Apocalypse, which I thought was terrible.
Yeah, maybe worse than Hail Caesar because Hail Caesar at least had that fantastic Channing Tatum scene.
It did his musical.
Yeah,
There's also Hail Caesar was not terrible.
it wasn't terrible.
It was
no.
a fairly forgettable and very niche-y
Yeah.
Coen Brothers film.
Not for me.
Kind of like Burn After Reading. I can see why you would like it, and if but I it's not going to be one that I watch over and over and over again. Although I will watch the Tatum Channing musical on replay. What did I just cut out of here?
Something hit Control V.
Captain America: Civil War.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Deadpool needs to go. Okay, let's solve the Deadpool problem. Was Deadpool better than Captain America? I think so.
Deadpool was a lot of fun, man.
And also, it was I expected it to be shit because it came out in Dumpuary, which, by the way, maybe Dumpuary is not a thing anymore.
Maybe.
Like, I've seen a couple terrible films, Hail Caesar and Monument Men. Maybe that's Clooney-wary. It's just where you dump George Clooney pieces now.
Right.
George Clooney's having that weird transition phase that like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro went through, where he's getting too old to be a leading man, but he isn't quite ready to be just a character actor.
You got to do it. You got to embrace your age at some point.
Yeah, he probably got a couple more leading man roles left in him.
I mean, if Sean Connery was doing
but
his
that's
rock thing for
that's here. Interesting story. I was thinking about this on a drive home from work as I was thinking about drive into work.
okay.
So Sean Connery had his run, and then he did Zanzibar or whatever the fuck him
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
that came later. He did a whole bunch of forgettable stuff, and then in my opinion, Hunt for Red October put him back on the map.
Uh-huh.
And he had didn't he have like Rising Sun or the another Michael Crichton adaptation? He had some stuff to put him back on his map. but then they're like, oh, Sean Connery is a viable movie star, and then came Entrapment, and then came League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and then it's like, nope, and then he retires.
Right.
Like, I feel like that is maybe what Clooney's fate's going to be. Like, he's going to come back in some sort of Hunt for Red October type performance, and everybody's like, oh my God, George Clooney, bankable movie star, how do we forget? And then they're going to remember, oh, right, he's too fucking old to pull this shit off anymore.
He needs to go talk to Robert Redford, because if anybody's ever pulled off a late stage career, like,
yeah, but Robert Redford has just always been laying out there in the weeds. Like after he got
that's true, yeah.
Like after
but everything he does is still really good. It's not
like after The Sting. I think he just waited in the weeds and like, oh, a river runs through it. Shit, yeah, I'll do that. The Old Man in the Sea or whatever.
Whatever that boat one was. That was fantastic. I
what
love
was the
that
one
movie.
he did with about the hackers?
Sneakers.
Sneakers
was he
not
super
a great
old?
movie.
That was a long time ago.
But he wasn't super old, but he was past his prime.
Paul Newman also. Both of those.
Guy laying out in the weeds.
Yeah, both of those guys did.
He's pushing up daisies now, but before that, he was laying out in the weeds.
Yeah, he had some really fantastic late game stuff. But yeah, Clooney needs to take some advice from.
Yeah.
Not from Pacino.
Yeah.
Pacino didn't get it right.
Pacino, and
De Niro didn't get it right.
Not necessarily.
He's still like out there doing big movies.
Yeah,
but they're not the kind of movies you'd want to see.
You got trapped in he fell in a Fokker hole. He fell in a Rocky and Bullwinkle hole.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was the big Russian bad, and
isn't he doing like a boxing movie now where he coaches somebody?
Yeah. Okay. Wasn't that
right,
Hands of Stone or?
Yeah, Fingers of
Fingers
Granite.
of Lead. Okay, so where were we?
Fists
Deadpool
of
better
baloney.
than Captain America.
Deadpool. I don't know.
I thought Captain America was pretty good.
Captain America was good. I mean, I think both of those are probably better than like Conjuring 2.
Okay. Well, that's what I was trying to think. If is Deadpool better than Captain America, we can move them kind of as a block.
Sure, I'll move them as a block for now.
Are they better than Ghostbusters? Are they better than Star Wars?
For me, maybe. I don't know.
Better than Ghostbusters or no?
No, I don't think they're better than Ghostbusters.
Not even. Okay. How is Deadpool not better than Ghostbusters?
I don't know. I mean, it still suffers from the same
Also, I've watched
problems.
I've watched Deadpool like 3 times.
Have you?
In the last 2 weeks because it's been on HBO and it's really, really good.
Yeah, it suffers
really
from the same superhero problems that all superhero movies do, which is you need equally matched superheroes and they all have to play a part, even though not all of them are equally matched. And like,
but it did poke fun at that.
A little bit, yeah, but it still had
also
issues.
the relationship between Ryan Reynolds and what's her face,
Marina Baccarin.
Yeah, I didn't.
That
little
develops
weird.
a little too fast.
Yeah, it's essentially their entire love story is how much they boned during their first year to a calendar girl montage, and then him getting cancer immediately after, and her being devastated.
Yeah, it's not love; it's a physical sexual relationship, which is fine.
Is it the kind of love that Deadpool would fall in, though?
Maybe, yeah. But would she? I don't know anything about her.
I mean,
character.
that's the thing. Like, they both had this meet cute where they compared how fucked up their child rearing was. But I never knew whether to take them serious about that or not, because it got so dark so quick that I thought they were just taking a piss at each other.
I think by the end they are. Yeah. I don't know.
But then again, I could totally believe that her father or uncles or whatever molested them both. I don't know.
I mean, Ghostbusters didn't have any of those kind of problems to me. And I got some genuine big laughs out of Ghostbusters. I did out of Deadpool as well. Don't get me wrong. Captain America: Civil War was
the airport fight alone.
I know
was just so delightful, and it's the best
the
example
reboot of Spider-Man.
It's the best example of all these powers, just like in a comic book series. You would get, how all this stuff is meshed, and you could tell they actually spent some time to think about how to creatively stage this. Versus extreme example opposite, X-Men Apocalypse, which the last 10 minutes is just four ridiculously godlike people floating in spears of shit throwing stuff at each other. It's terrible and it looks bad. Then maybe we found as high as the superheroes can fly this year. They're not as high as Ghostbusters. Okay.
What else is on here?
Hardcore Henry, I think
surprised me, but I wouldn't put it on the top 10.
Batman versus Superman was bad, but not as bad as X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, come on, Independence Day Resurgence was better than both of those movies easily. Like, I don't care about the bottom list.
Because I was bored, so bored in Independence Day. So bored, man.
But there was nothing offensively bad about it. Whereas Batman vs. Superman and X-Men Apocalypse, there were just some straight up
Batman vs.
shit.
Superman made me angry. I
guess what's worse, being like so milquetoast that you aren't even moved by it, or having some good moments mixed with really bad moments.
I find them they're bad in all different ways, but they're about their level of badness and redundant.
Okay.
There was no need to make any. That was $600 million. Shit away. The society just agreed to piss away.
I guess.
It didn't further a franchise. It didn't put anybody on the map. It just kind of bummed people out.
What about Suicide Squad? That's super low on the list.
Suicide Squad's is the best of that bunch.
Okay.
It actually had some genuinely interesting ideas it was trying to do. Like I'll put it up there with Hardcore Henry. I think it's a little better than Hardcore
Yeah,
Henry.
And then the middle and end just shit the bed. Like,
yeah. Well, and the whole concept. It's like,
right.
You know, this team is assembled to stop Superman if he goes rogue.
Mm-hmm. What happens when they go rogue?
No one on this team, and they're all villains. No one on this team is capable of standing toe-to-toe with Superman, except for maybe the witch character who immediately turns rogue and is the villain of the... So it's like the whole concept. The whole concept is fucked.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why... Oh, God, fucking DC.
How about 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Was great. 10 Cloverfield Lane needs to be...
So like
better than Conjuring, better than the comic books, movies, better than Ghostbusters.
So we're not gonna knock this thing for not really needing to be a Cloverfield sequel.
Well, but
this had almost nothing to do with Cloverfield,
also,
and the end wasn't super important for it.
Not only was it super important, I thought the end was bad.
Okay,
but that's why it's Cloverfield.
Because the ending is bad. It's the
no. I mean, that's the only thing that made it Cloverfield.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just a really intense psychological horror movie.
Yeah, I think they should have just cut that part.
Don't call it Cloverfield. Call John Goodman as a terrifying individual when he fucking wants to be.
And he should probably win an Oscar for this performance.
Yeah, yeah. I could totally get behind
John
that.
Goodman. Fucking terrifying in that movie.
So and that's the thing. Like, I feel like this. What's it? Split.
Yeah.
It feels totally reductive. Like, how can it be more interesting than 10 Cloverfield Lane?
I mean, it beat it to the punch. If Split had come out first, maybe there'd be something more interesting about it, but it feels exactly the same.
Yeah, it's almost like the pitch for that is 10 Cloverfield Lane, only a person not half as scary as John Goodman, and also
physically,
a largely debunked psychological condition that we can get everybody whipped up about. Okay, so 10 Cloverfield Lane, better than Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters doesn't have a bad ending, but probably.
Okay.
I don't know about Moana.
So I don't.
Star Wars.
So here's the thing. I guess now I don't give a shit once we get out of the top 10, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to make another pass and make sure that we got our top 10 has got integrity. But Arrival, I think, is going to be our best movie.
Yeah, I loved Arrival.
That's my favorite movie. That's if you combine biggest surprise, brain power devoted to thinking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
The fact that I love science fiction, and this was a very hard science fiction concept movie, and the fact that it just they pulled it off. Everything was executed at an extremely high level and good emotional core.
Yeah, I was bored at the beginning. That's like the one knock against it that I would say. It took a while to really spin up. But once it did, like, all the ideas were so interesting that it didn't matter. Like, all that just kind of faded from my memory.
I wouldn't even say I was bored. It's more like I was sitting there like man, I hope this is going somewhere.
It,
I really
okay,
hope this is going
that's a
where
better
because
way to
I'm
put it.
just. I wasn't bored because it's all interesting. It's just like, man, I don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to do here. And then it all starts to click, and then the final act just puts everything together.
Yep.
I don't see anything on this list that's going to dethrone Arrival.
I don't think so either.
Doctor Strange feels like it's a bit high,
Yeah.
but like I've never visually, it's been since like The Matrix since I've seen anything that's like, holy fucking shit. And my biggest regret is I never got to see this in IMAX 3D.
Ooh.
And I never will now.
You might, like 20 years from now.
I have to have a re-release.
But by then, it'll be old hat.
Yeah, and like there's not. I mean, I have to drive back to Indianapolis to get to a real fucking IMAX.
That's right.
So if I want to see like a real 5-story tall IMAX screen, so Doctor Strange needs to go. Is it better than Sully? I don't think it's better than Snowy or Sully or Snowden. It's definitely better than Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we're gonna have to discuss this Star Wars thing because I know you enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
Okay, well,
do you think it belongs higher on this list?
Then no,
because
absolutely
I
not.
actually might, for my
and
money,
I will
put
say
it
this,
under 10 Cloverfield
I went
Lane.
to see Star Wars again with my son, and I really enjoyed that experience. But I started to see a little bit more of the problems with it, like. It just became so much clearer to me that Forrest Whitaker's character had no business in that movie.
Yeah, zero.
That or they needed to actually have him spend a lot of time with Jin, because as it was, he was just a 15-minute diversion that didn't need to be there and kind of off-putting performance.
And it's weird too because I know they retooled a lot of that script, or I don't know if they retooled the script or after they shot it did a lot of editing.
Well, that might
but
be.
I know they had a lot of preview footage that just never made it in because it was cut.
I wonder if there might be a 3-hour director's cut that really sells their relationship together.
Maybe.
And like it's like the Godfather of Star Wars movies. I don't know, but as presented, I don't know. It's just weird, and also, it's tonally. It's real. As badass as the Darth Vader thing was, it's so weird. In no other Star Wars film do you ever root for Darth Vader. He's definitely badass and cool, but you're also always in that scene. I was kind of rooting and cheering for Darth Vader. Isn't that weird?
That's a little weird, yeah.
He is the bad guy. He is committing slaughter.
He's also the Star Wars touchstone there. So I feel like, you know, as much as you would root for like Mon Mothma, you're probably also rooting for Darth Vader. And I know they're on opposing sides, but like they're what takes you back to the original Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's understandable, even if that's not what they were going for.
I just wish they'd built to where there was stakes, because we knew that the rebels were going to get the fucking file, and also like, yes, they did solve a big problem with the Death Star and like it having a glaring weakness and all that kind of stuff. Although, you know, there's a couple other I've watched other commentaries and people point out, it's like that was not really a big plot hole. Like the idea that something the size of a moon would have a very small technical weakness that the Empire just decided, like, okay, who's going to send some starfighter to blow off our storm drain here? You know, like that's like that never really, like a detailed analysis of the plans of anything could reveal a fatal flaw.
They should have maybe stocked it with more TIE fighters, I would say.
Sure.
You got this planet-sized thing. Maybe put more than 9 TIE fighters in the thing.
Right. But you know, it's like I don't know, man. Like there's the idea that we're like rooting for Vader there at the end, and the fact that Jin and especially like the rebel guy, like I don't even know his fucking name. I saw the movie twice.
Rebel guy?
Yeah.
Which
the guy that's got the vaguely Spanish accent.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't really nothing.
That whole movie's flat to
my
me.
son pointed this out. He's like, this guy doesn't do anything. Like he's notable for the things he doesn't do. He doesn't pull the trigger of this. He doesn't decide to turn blah 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 over to. It's like he just like the only thing he does that's actually a positive commitment to the movie is that he shoots what's his butt, Krychek or whatever, to save Jin at the end. I don't know, man. The movie is a lot more of a mess than I granted in the first. But on the other hand, it is a pretty fun Star Wars movie.
I don't know. I thought that whole movie was just a flat line to me. It was like, it just didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe I was in a bad mood when I saw it. Maybe I know it has problems.
Right.
It has more problems than 10 Cloverfield Lane, which really it's 10 Cloverfield Lane's only real problem is they tried to make it a sequel to Cloverfield.
So, is it better than Ghostbusters? Here's where it starts to become hard because Ghostbusters was really fun, and I think I've seen it a couple times since because it's been on one of the movie channels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Should it be better than Ghostbusters?
I feel like I'm my head says no, my heart says yes because I love Star Wars, but I didn't have nearly as much fun with Star Wars as I did Ghostbusters.
Well, I like it a little bit more, so I
Or
think
even
I
Deadpool,
have a hard
honestly,
time
like-
giving it. I have a hard time putting it above any of the comic book movies or Ghostbusters.
I know.
Although when I say comic movies, I'm leaving Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was head and shoulders above the other stuff, even though Deadpool and Captain America: Civil War is very good. It's stuff that I've seen before. Deadpool wasn't. Okay, so we got Moana. Doesn't need. I mean, I think Moana's great. It's one of the greatest animated films I've seen, and it looks amazing. But you haven't seen it, and it's a kids. It's ultimately a family film. Maybe it should be off the list.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna take it
I don't
off
know.
for right now. All right, so we got right now Arrival 1, Sully 2, Snowden 3, Doctor Strange 4, 5, Cloverfield Lane.
It's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, 5, 10, Cloverfield Lane. Does Sully's better than Snowden?
No. I mean,
Is Sully better?
JGL does a really, really good Snowden for for what he looks like. He's
Yeah.
a fucking movie star.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna look exactly like him, but they make him look as much as they can like him,
And sound.
and he sounds a lot like him. That movie. How much do you know about the Edward Snowden story? Do you know?
I feel like I got a
how
pretty good handle
accurate
on
that
it now.
movie is?
Yeah.
I'm like asking how accurate the movie
well,
is.
I mean that's so. I guess you want to. The real question is, do you believe Edward Snowden more than the U.S. government?
Sure.
Because there's
I
a
ab-
lot of discrepancies between what he says is the truth and what he says. Like there's a lot. I think to the extent that it's not accurate is how big of a role did Edward Snowden have in these programs, and what did things, is he in Russia because he wants to be in Russia, or is he in Russia because they pulled his passport?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of I guess where he ended up and what he's doing now, and that's like all tied up into the story. But if you believe and if you believe his version of events, which are also corroborated by a lot of other high-placed whistleblowers and leaks in the NSA and the CIA, who were treated criminally by our government and was swept under the rug, I guess I would say it's probably more truth than fiction.
Yeah, I mean,
And I want to say it's
documents
more
that came out of
important.
that are obviously truth.
And I want to say it's important, but this movie had no impact at all.
Right. The important
This
things
movie is for-
happened when the documents came out.
Yeah.
That was the important thing.
And like I've got privacy tape over my laptop cameras now, and
yeah, me too.
but I still haven't encrypted my email, still haven't encrypted, much less my phone and text communications.
Yeah, I have not encrypted my communications, but I've encrypted all my important files.
Did you?
Using Veracrypt.
Hmm.
Veracrypt.
Interesting.
Yes.
So I don't know what do you think? Like I said, it's too bad because I think it's a great movie. There's a lot of passion. Like I remember there's a lot of hot takes on the forums where people were really angry with Snowden and his actions.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people were. It inspired a really good discussion for us about privacy and
That ultimately went
everything kind
nowhere.
of around that. I'm trying to just remember how the movie was. Like, was it a good movie?
Well, since
And
it's
I
the
don't-
Baldies, also I'm gonna throw something out there. It's like I don't know that it's necessarily unfair to combine the enjoyment of the podcast experience with the movie itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have another category for that.
That's best commission.
Right.
But
and if I'm just judging it on the quality of the movie, I feel like there are better movies on this list further down.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like,
I do too. Like, I'm
Sully,
not comfortable
10
Sully being
Cloverfield Lane, like
that high up there.
Sully or Snowden?
Oh shit. Snowden or Sully. Honestly, I mean, Sully is a great. I mean,
Sully has like one moment that I really, really loved, and the rest of it is kind of like. I guess it has more than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sully's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, and I have you seen? Anyway, where does Snowden go? Is it better than Doctor Strange?
5.
Better than Star Wars, but not as good as Cloverfield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About Sully. Sully better than Doctor Strange.
Man, the more I think about this, the more Cloverfield just keeps rising, because that's really just predicated on the performances. How good of a movie is that? I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was tense the whole time.
Yeah, and I kept on going back and forth between, is John Goodman for real? And like he's going to be this misunderstood person who's trying to, or is he just this monster? And
the performance of the female lead, whose name I can't recall. She was outstanding as well.
Yeah, no, for real.
I don't know where Sully belongs. I feel like Sully was a better movie straight up than Snowden, though. So maybe 4.
Boy, I don't know, man, because it's not like you got Clint Eastwood going head to head against Born on the 4th of July guy.
Clint Eastwood. What are you talking about?
He was the director of Sully.
Okay, was he?
Yeah, yeah, he was.
All right, well, good for him.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead was the actress in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, and now everyone can see that.
Yeah. Oh, is it going live? Oh,
yeah,
it is. Interesting.
Yeah. Not that interesting.
Yeah, it was directed by Clint Eastwood. I just want to fact check myself. Okay. He's going head to head against the guy who just did Natural Born Killers. What the fuck? Christ, my head has gone completely. JFK. He directed JFK. He directed fucking Snowden.
Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone, thank you. He goes head to head against like their political opposites, directorial vision opposites. Clint Eastwood could not make Snowden. Could not make Natural Born Killers. And it would be very interesting to see
an Oliver Stone
take on Sully. Like he's doing LSD up there, and he's haunted by the ghost of his father. Who the fuck knows? Okay, so
yeah, that's fine.
And the other thing is
3 or 4.
The other thing I'm personally unhappy with of our best movie list is like we didn't see any really serious Oscar contenders on this list outside of maybe Arrival and Sully.
That's true, but what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Try to watch better shit in that next year. We already missed a good one. What was that one about the women who calculated shit for NASA?
Yeah, that
spreadsheets. I think it was called Slide Rule.
Yeah, it's called
Figures.
Being black in the '60s sucked, especially if you're a lady.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna do astrophysics for NASA. You're gonna be a woman, record scratch. You're gonna be a black woman, double record scratch. Like, yeah.
Oh, it's the '60s. Holy shit.
Oh, it's this. Oh fuck.
Right.
Coming through civil rights. Yeah. This best movie thing. I don't know what to do with. Arrival. I feel strong about Arrival being the best thing, and then you've got other things. They're so different. It's hard to. Doctor Strange was a lot of fun. Sully had a lot of heart, and told a story that I knew very well in a very engaging manner. 10 Cloverfield Lane was a big surprise and a big shocker. Snowden was important. Ghost, Star Wars was a diversion from my childhood. Ghostbusters was a really good gender bender take on Ghostbusters. Deadpool was a deconstruction of the superhero genre in in a hilarious manner. Captain America is like the best pure comic book film we've had in a long while. And The Conjuring 2 was scary as shit. Maybe that's a good order. Maybe we're fine.
I do feel like that's the cutoff where I wouldn't feel comfortable putting anything else on the top 10. I feel like we just came in at a 10 that is acceptable.
Yeah, and obviously Magnificent Seven should be above all that comic book dreck, but it doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
So are we happy with the top 10?
I think so. It doesn't look bad to me.
Doing awards is like, that's the thing. Like when you're just two guys deciding, it's a lot harder. Like I kind of envy the Oscars where they just have like a couple hundred people vote, and it's just, well, then them's the breaks.
I want a consensus I can hide behind.
Yeah.
Where's my consensus shield?
But also with best movie, there's no categories either. Like, you know, drama and comedy would make this a bit easier.
Right.
But then again, you've also got the comic book. Like, where the fuck do you put comic books on?
Yeah.
And also we didn't, like La La Land, which is a musical, which is kind of right up my alley, is getting a lot of buzz for Oscars. I would have liked to seen that. I believe that came out during the holidays. Anyway, yeah, this isn't anywhere. This is even less valid critically than our TV list. This is just the shit that we saw, and we do popcorn.
How about this?
Crowd pleasers. Yeah, best first run bald movie.
Best first run
bald movie.
There we go.
Because like out of all the popcorn crowd pleasers that we picked, these are the best ones.
Yeah.
With a couple legitimately important works that we got there by accident. All right, I think I'm happy. Like I said, the back half of this list is garbage, but we're also not going to get around to it. So,
yeah, don't care.
There we go.
All right.
And I think that's all we're tackling for today. So we'll be back with more deliberations later on. Hope you enjoyed watching this, and hope you enjoy the Baldies.
See ya.